Rochelle White, wow, you are as punctual as unbelievable. You are so punctual. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Right now, I'm only seeing Rochelle White. If you are there, maybe you could also let us know who you are, and so that we will appreciate you and greet you. Welcome, welcome, everyone that is joining. Sometimes you join, but I might not see the... Okay, Monica is here now. I see Monica as the second person who has written something. Then I see Michaela Labelle. Michaela Labelle, you should be, are you connected in with, that your name sounds actually Ukrainian. I'm living in Ukraine here. And that name sounds Ukrainian, Michaela. It's a Ukrainian name for a lady. It's a lady's name in this part of the world. It's an Orthodox name. It's for Orthodox Christians here. Daniel Atsenga, Gift Amos, Edwin Aminmi, Dr. Quinn Nkiru, Mesonge, Shioma Olani, Williams, Ravele, Ngozi, Oluipe, thoughtful writer. Welcome, welcome every one of you. Jane Munsaka. Oh, Success. I thought Success was in the house. Oh, wow. You are like a moon or like a star. You just appear like a star and disappear. Wow. Nice to see you all. Anastasia McDonald. Ofonime Harry. Shegun Lawal. Okay, nice to see you guys. Well, welcome again. Yesterday, I was talking about how to detect non-truth. How do you detect non-truth? How do you detect non-truth? Actually, we had an incident today that we were talking about that actually talks to us about non-truth. A lot of incidences are happening these days that just talk about non-truth. Not necessarily lie, but it's still non-truth. Not necessarily true, but it's not true and it's not lie. So in fact, I think you these days will begin to notice a lot of those similar stuff all around now after we started addressing this situation. Okay, now the question that I have for you people is, should I just name the 7 criteria of detecting non-truth that I gave to you yesterday, of looking for the evidence, or I should call somebody to come and name them? Because you people are supposed to write them down. If anybody wrote them down, maybe you come and remind me what are those 7 points. Or you want me to, yeah, you can read it, but you have to come here to the camera. You have to come to the camera. Don't remove my light. Oh.
Hello, everyone.
Yes. So, what are the 7 criteria to detect non-truth that I gave you yesterday?
All right, sir. So, the first one is to look for the reference or the evidence.
Okay, so will you give a little bit explanation about those things?
Okay, so for example, if let's say the non-truth is sow and become rich. So
sorry?
sow a seed and become
okay.
rich.
Okay.
Maybe that's what has been preached. Sow a seed and they become rich. So the first one is, okay, where did that come from? Where is the source? Or look, where's the reference? Where's the reference? Is it the Bible who said it? Was it my father or the pastor? Or So,
or the man of God,
or the man of God. So that's the
or
first
the bishop, or GO.
Yeah.
What is the reference? Where did you hear that from?
Where did you hear from?
Yeah, that message that sow and it will become money. Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
Since it's not in the Bible, so who said it? Okay.
So that's the first question. So the
Because when the Bible talks about sowing, it's not talking about money. It's talking about seed, physical.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So the second one is what is the source, or what or who is the source of the evidence? So, for example, if it is from the Bible, okay. So whose statements?
Yes. Is it from the new or from the old?
New or old, or
Who
was
said
it
it?
Jesus?
Or it was Satan himself who
Or
said
Satan.
it? Or it was John the Baptist?
Yes.
Or it was Moses?
Or Moses?
Those things matter. Why do you think it matters? What is the source? Who says it? Who
Yeah,
said it?
because for us, for example, a very wonderful example is what Moses said in the Old Testament, that an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth,
And thou shalt not suffer.
and thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Okay.
So that was what was said by Moses. But then Jesus showed up in the New Testament
And said the opposite.
and then he said, you once heard an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, but now I am telling you this. That
I am telling you this.
Yes, so-
I am the author of life.
Yes.
And I'm telling you this. But the Son of Man,
Yeah.
the people of God, see head on to which one?
It will suffer.
Someone does wish to live.
Yes.
That's the one they prefer. Even though Jesus said, I've come to tell you, I'm now telling you this,
Yes.
that you have had. It was said like that. And it was said like that. But me, I've come. I'm now telling you, don't avenge yourself.
Yes.
But people are saying, but if I don't kill him, he go kill me now. But they don't believe what Jesus said. That if you love him, he will not kill you.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So that's the second one. So the second one, I repeat it, that what is the source of the evidence? Now, then the third one is that you have to ask for the primary source. So in asking for the primary source, what you want to know is where is it
Where did it
originate from? Yeah. So talking about the real origin.
Because if you say Moses said it, where did Moses get it from? What was the situation? Did Moses say it because in the wilderness these things were happening, and the situation, the response was needed, or it was a condition that was demanded it for that particular time?
Yes. For example, let me give an example that we talked about yesterday about the issue of women keeping quiet in churches and things like that. And one thing that happened that time was it was during the Roman Empire. And in the Roman Empire, women were not regarded as
human beings,
as humans. So,
as good as your cows and animals in the culture. Yeah,
exactly. And you mentioned that it was in the 1920s that women began
to be regarded as human beings.
Exactly. So if it was
women didn't vote in the 1920s.
Yeah.
They couldn't even vote. They were not even counted in the population. So when each time you hear that Jesus fed 5,000. That's they don't count women as children, because they were not regarded as fully human, as human beings. Even though that woman they are saying is not fully human. Now they say sleep with to produce them children.
Come on now.
So somebody who is not fully human, how come you are lying together with her to be mating with her? So you are mating with something that is not human. You are mating with animal to produce human. With people, Okay, be at the here.
Yes, sir. So I'll repeat the third one. That's you have to ask for the primary source. Then the fourth one is it a reported source? Is it from a reported source, or is it a secondary? Yeah, a second-hand source. So there are some sources that are reported, like it was someone that said it to another person.
Yes.
Or it can be a second-hand source.
Because in Nigeria right now, most of the practices you will see in churches, if either it's giving or it's deliverance or it's breakthrough or it's prophecy or it's faith seed or anything you see most people do in churches, even up to praise and worship practice, the way it's done, all the instruments, everything you see going on in churches these days is because they have seen in the Bible, but because they have seen some men of God that they respect do those things, and they just repeat them. Yes, go ahead.
All right. So next is the fifth one, and that's the question of the authority of the source and evidence. So we must ask we must question the authority of the evidence and the source, and we can connect this with the words of the old prophets when they said some things, and the words of Jesus. Whose authority? Or the words of your pastor and the words of Jesus? Because many times now people can't even they can't stand saying this is what is in your Bible, this is what Jesus said. But what they will say is this is what our man of God said. So whose authority actually weighs more? Is it what your pastor said or what Jesus said? Is it whose authority should you actually subscribe to? Whose authority should you give yourself under to? Is it what a man said or what God said? So the authority of the evidence and the authority of the source is one question that you must ask to decipher if this is a non-truth or it is a truth or lie. So that's the fifth one. And then very importantly is the timing. The timing. This is very important because there are some things that could be permissible and could operate well before the cross, before the coming of Jesus. And after the cross of Jesus, it is abolished. There is no need for it. For example, someone telling you that before you can hear God and before you can talk to God, you need to talk to Him. Well, I've had this said before that you don't need God to talk to you. If I am your pastor, God speaks to me, and if I speak to you, it is as good as God talking to you.
And they will have reference
and then they have a reference
Bible.
Yes, and they would and from the Bible they would talk to they would say things that what would God have to say if He doesn't say it through His prophets. And I think I paraphrased that. Well, if God will have anything to say, He would reveal it to His prophet, and so His prophets will get the word from God and then convey the message to the people.
So who are you who is not for a prophet? How can God speak to you?
So who are you? You're not. Who are you that God will talk to? But that was applicable before the cross. That was applicable before God gave out His Spirit to all men and anyone that receives Jesus to have the indwelling presence of the Holy Ghost. So the timing is very important. Was this before the cross or was this after the cross? Was this applicable during the 90s and is it applicable now in the 21st century? Because in the Bible, for example, some people come like, why should a pastor have a car? Or why should a pastor have, or why should Christians have or live in big houses and things like that? Well, during the time of Jesus, there was no car then. During the time of Jesus, what they had was just animals. So if he wants to transfer himself from Jerusalem to Jericho, he had to go with an ass. So now, because it was not in the Bible that Jesus Christ used a car, so now I can't use a car. Timing. Now we don't have to go with asses and with donkeys. We go with cars. Well, times have changed. There's been improvement in technology. So because it was not written in the Bible that Jesus Christ had a car, does it mean I should not have a car? Well, I've had people make this kind of insane analysis, and I'm like, come on, let's understand the timing. This happened like centuries ago. This was years ago where nothing like this was happening. But now we have things like this. So understanding.
Or the situation with the woman.
Or with the woman, exactly. That, well, about the covering of the hair, I want to address this. Let me address
Let me take advantage of the situation.
Let me address this. Let me keep this person. I'll keep the person anonymous. The person went to church, and it was a church that they were keen on covering the hair, the lady's hair. And then she didn't have any, because I think she was coming from work or she was coming from town, and then her hair wasn't covered, and then she had to attend the service because there was nothing she could use to cover her hair. And what she used was she had to just look for a piece of paper, and tore the piece of paper, and they just covered it on her head. so that our worship will be acceptable. Well, Pastor told us, and I learned that earlier, the whole idea behind the covering of the air. During that time, that's why we have to be lovers of truth. Because by being lovers of truth, we go and seek for knowledge. Why was this happening? Why did they practice this? So why was the practice of the veiling of the lady's hair or a woman's hair? That was the sign to show that she was married. So when you see a woman who is veiled, who covers her hair, for you, that's enough for you to know that she is married. And now, what we need to know someone is married is the wedding ring. So if a woman...
Times have changed.
So, well, good luck to those who are wearing headgears. And then the seventh is for the place of personal documentation and personal experience. And here,
personal
experiences, personal testimonies,
not documentation.
Yeah, no documentation.
Lack of documentation.
Before you believe anything, and before you believe anyone saying something, and the person just coming to say, well, I did this, I
had a dream.
Well,
or God just showed me.
Yeah.
There are 100 people here with $1,000 each.
Yeah, so that's the seventh criterion.
What are the examples now?
So, okay, for the example of this, now, the people that can come and then share testimonies. I think this is how
I was in Arizona or something.
Yeah, he was in one country 10 years ago, and then he called out this seed, and there was this woman, she came out to give the seed, and then
gave her last.
And I gave her last money. And then I just left the place, and then I came back like 2 years later, and somebody was running behind me saying, Pastor, you know me? I was the woman that came out the other time, and I gave my last money, and today I'm a millionaire. Okay, what's her name?
Where is the woman?
Where is the woman? Well, where's the money? Present the account. Let's know. Those things I just that could I just cajole you. And so, those that just help your, not your faith,
emotions.
Help your emotions to give. If someone is saying he did this, let him present the documentation. And that's one thing I actually.
Or for example, people come out of the wheelchair.
Yes.
Those things like people come out of the wheelchair, there is a lot of fraud in it.
Yes.
It's not documentation.
Yeah.
Because some of what I've discovered is that there are prominent churches, even prominent evangelists in America. You could go to the internet right now and mention the leading evangelist that is people are coming out of wheelchair from. And go to the YouTube and put the name of that person and say that the miracles of this person. Then you discover that people are being sat down on the wheelchair who are just having little back pain. They will say, okay, let's... And the ones who are really sick and nobody touches them. You are on your own.
Special case.
Yeah, so all those wheelchair something, a lot of fraud there. Yeah. But in Nigeria, what they do is that there is a prominent church also. He used to dress like the American one. So there are two of them who are friends now. So that one, he will go and train the people who are supposed to be on wheelchair and train them very well for like a week. Give them hotel to stay in. Feed them very well. And then they will make them sit in front on wheelchair. So when it's time, they just all the helpers tell them, come on. That's how they begin to. Then they will be carrying but the wheelchairs belong to the church. It is the church wheelchair. They just sat them there. Organized miracles, organized signs and wonders. So that's why all the things must be. So that's why the next point that I'm going to be talking about today is going to be what I call it, reviewed. Can the evidence be reviewed? Just like those signs and wheelchairs now. Can they be reviewed? Because if you begin to review some of those wheelchairs, you will discover, in fact, it is a member of their church who is telling me this. So some of the photographs that they have, and if you go to YouTube and check out the Nigerian one that is wearing all kind of dress and saying people are on wheelchair, all the people who are doing wheelchair something in Nigeria, you see that the beginning of the testimony, they always have different dress or different, even the wheelchair that they used to come there was always different from the one they used to bring them to the stage. If you just trace it, pay attention to detail, you will discover that didn't happen to the testimony. They are saying that I was like this, that was 3 months ago before he got ill. And they give him medical something to become healed. So a lot of manipulations. And the reason why manipulations are around miracles and signs and wonders is because people are not basing their judgment on truth, but they base their judgment on miracles. Yeah. So the more miracles is being performed in one particular place, that is the evidence that God is there. But in the real sense, that is not miracle we should be using to judge truth. True miracles shouldn't be the basis to decide truth. Okay, Shioma is writing here. That church, she knows the church I'm talking about. That church is the biggest cult in Nigeria. And they have made the man of God so powerful through their seed. They have given so much seed to the man of God that the man of God is now so powerful that you can't touch him. And if you try to do anything, they will send killers against after you. So these are just fraudsters. So thank you so much, Anu. Now today, I'm going to go to, but get ready all of you, because now you are all my colleagues now, and so you all should get ready to come forward and give me. I want you to remember practices that are so prevalent in churches. So when I mention some things, when you have some, before I call you, remember some scenarios or some practices and raise your hand so that I could call you. Thank God today all the women have won. Long, even though it's hot, they have gotten ready for this. So we should have more women coming up today to talk. Anyway, so the second way to detect non-truth, I'm giving you the majority of the things, but the second way to discover and detect non-truth is that the evidence that people are using, or the proof that people are using to make their judgment or to decide to make their decision, ask them this question: can that proof be revealed? Revealed. Because yesterday I said revealed, but I guess that my pronunciation was the problem. So people wrote, first of all, revealed. But I don't mean revealed. I'm talking revealed. Review. Can it be revealed? I'm saying revealed because of B. Can it be revealed? Review. I'm talking of review, not reveal. Okay. So can the evidence that people are using be revealed? Revealed. Is that the way you say it?
Revealed.
Yeah.
Revealed.
Huh?
Revealed.
Yeah, revealed. Okay. That is REVIEWED. Okay. So can the evidence be revealed? Now, the reason I got to know about this, why this one is very important for me, is because one day in Nigeria, this story hit all the main media. And this is what I cannot understand. Nigerian media will carry anything sensational. So what the news was that a newborn baby was born with a little Quran in his hand from the mother's womb. You didn't hear that?
No.
You heard about it?
I heard about it.
You even heard about it too?
Yeah, but I didn't know it was Nigeria.
Yes, that a little Quran, the guy brought it from heaven. That's what they said. This little boy that was given birth to came from heaven itself with Bible in his hand. I mean, not Bible, with the little Quran in his hand. And sensation started. All the neighbors started making noise. Then they got to television and everybody said, this is the Quran. Let's review this something now. Let's go to the hospital where the baby was delivered. Who was there? Because there is no way a little Quran will be in that boy's or in that baby's womb and not get wet. Why it didn't get wet though? That one, even if you say it get wet and it's not red, it's not wet in blood, also that's another problem. How can the thing come out of the mother's womb and no blood, no even water touch it?
Another miracle, Pastor. This is another miracle.
Another miracle.
Another miracle that the Quran was.
Yeah, so it is false because there is no way paper will be in the water because the baby is surrounded by water, and when that baby is coming out, it's surrounded by blood. So there is no way the baby himself will be full of blood everywhere, and the Quran is just clean. Small Quran, and the baby's hand cannot even hold the Quran because the Quran itself is bigger than the baby's hand. But so because people don't review evidences, so in my country people just say, "Oh, the man of God has said it," or newspaper has carried it, or they showed it on television. I saw the Quran myself. But ask, let's review. Or recently now, there is another miracle that a certain tree had an Arabic inscription that Allah Akbar, God is great. In Arabic, the tree was growing up, and when the tree germinated and grew up to be big, it had an inscription. You could trace the inscription and now show it. That it's the words are written. It's growing on the tree together, and since it's not freshly written, and because it's grown up together, they are saying, so now in Nigeria, I think it's in the state of one of the states in Jangala or something like that. One of the states in Nigeria. So it is now that tree now is being turned to a shrine, and people are worshiping it. But they didn't know that if it is reviewed. If that thing is reviewed historically and evidentially and do scientific review, that you will discover that one of the puppies, the Arab puppies, they were studying under the trees, and most of them were normally studying under the trees. He inscribed that thing as he was studying when the tree was still young. So over the years, now the tree has grown up. And the inscription remains. Now we say it is God that has appeared. The same thing with some charismatics. They will tell you that gold fell from somewhere. They will go to church and fall down and say gold has appeared. So why are you poor? If gold is appearing and you are poor, how come? Go sell it now and make money. You've not heard of that? It happens. So gold dust. And gold, teeth is still okay, but gold dust, falling down, koro like metal, gold. That is like saying God is making material things from spirit. A lot of foolishness going on these days in the churches, and just because they cannot look at one little evidence, which is let's review it. Give it to me. I go take them to the laboratory. Let's go to the laboratory together. Some people even say feathers, angels' feathers are falling. In the church, they will say they found feathers of. So how do you tell you that angel, that feather you found, it is angel? Who even told you that angels have feather? Because it is only in one place that is recorded that some form of angels had feathers. All the other places where angels appear in the Bible, no feather. There is almost no confirmation in the Bible. Look at the Bible, all the places where angels appear in the Bible, no feather. And the ones, the cherubim and seraphim that are having feather, they are not the little feather of a bird or of some chicken. No. This will not be chicken. If you are talking about angel feather, it should be 2 meters long. It's not this chicken, you know, and what do you call the chicken, the small chicken. The chicken feather you are finding here. You are saying the angel feather. Are you kidding me? And some Christians, some born again, charismatic, they buy into that. So if you want to tell me that it's the cherubim and seraphim's feathers that fell, that one should be 2 meters, 1 meter long. It shouldn't be the size of the chicken, the little baby chicken. You don't tell me that those angels are so insignificant. Spirituality, eh? Just ask them one question, one, not be two, one question. Only one question. Review. Let's review the thing. We are going to do research here. Let's do the research. Let's review. So anytime people come to you with some stories, with some bogus stories that give 1,000, I mean, okay, some people will say, give and it shall be given unto you. Then why are you asking me? Go and practice it now. Yeah. If you want to say that give and it shall be given, you works. But you are the one who say you are preaching and you believe it. And go and give to me now, me I day. I go collect. If you are a depression, you believe that give and it shall be given to you, it works. Yeah. And me I day now, we are many here, church members. Begin to distribute, begin to shower us with the gift, with the money. Let it multiply for you. We are not going to jealous. But why is it that we are the one that has to work for the opposite? That we are the one who don't believe. And then we are the one to be bringing the thing to you. Yeah. You believe. Yeah. But it is you who believe who's supposed to be practicing what you believe. Yeah. Why should you be telling me to practice it? What you believe? If you really believe it, let's try it now. Practice it on me I day. I will volunteer. And I don't even want it to multiply for me. Let it multiply for you yourself. Edwin Baby say we need to reintroduce. I said, Pastor Sunday, you have said it before that we need to reintroduce Christianity in Nigeria afresh. He said, now I agree with you. We need to reintroduce the whole thing. The whole thing needs to start afresh in that country. Yeah. Now, wow. Please, I didn't ask you to go and share today. Let's go and remember to share, Jerry. Before laughter kill me here. Let's just go and share. Let somebody come and laugh with me. This one is sweet laughter. Go and share the thing. Let people come and enjoy. So I used to prove these things and argue intensively. But now I'm just laughing because it's not laughter time. I've proved. Enough. Okay, Kofi Ashampong is saying, is it wrong to take offerings and to sow seed? Well, I can see that Kofi is new here. I have a, what do you call it, a YouTube page that is called Sunday, that's my name, Sunday Adelaja Official, right? Go to that YouTube page, go there after we finish this one, make a run. Go there, run and go to Sunday Adelaja Official. And when you get there, you know, just go to the home page and scroll down like this. You see that my teachings are in series 1, series 2, then the series have their names. So one of the series, one of the last series, I think in series 32. Series number 32, okay, series number 32 as the title is The Prostitution of Tithe and Offering. Okay, Kofi is saying, I'm going to run after this thing. Yes. Then they rob you, but you go first. By yourself. You go there and see. It's called Prostitution of Tithe and Offering. All right. When you get there, you will see it there. You will see it there. Series 32, yes. So, Adeosu Okoyemi says, Sunday Adelaja official will save you from deception. Yes. Thank you so much, Okoyemi. So, anyway, for you to detect non-truth, it's a very simple thing to do. Go for review. Try to find a way to review that thing that man has just said. So if they come now and tell you that I was in California last year, and one woman came and I said, you are there, you don't have a womb, and the woman just got a womb and the womb appeared, and now so if any one of you don't have womb or if you are barren, I am here. Go and bring $1,000. Go and first of all, before Pastor, I'm ready to give you that $1,000. But can you produce that woman first? Let me review the report that was there initially, the diagnosis. Let me see the report of the doctors. How long was she barren? What year was it removed? That womb removed? What was the name of the doctor that removed it? And who is the doctor that certified that the thing appeared also? Yes. Who is the doctor that certified that the thing appeared? All right? Okay. Now, where is the baby that was given birth to? Just review. Ordinary review. In fact, let me tell you a story. There is a big story. Maybe somebody from England will remember this. There is a big story right now happening in Kenya. In Kenya, a big story. But this story started from England. Then it went to Scotland. That story has traveled though. That story has traveled for over 10 years now. It's traveling all over the world. Now, what happened to this story is this. There is a man of God that used to be the most anointed man of God. That's the way to call him. He was the most anointed man of God in England. And the reason why he was the most anointed man of God in England by the decision of his followers or himself is that he produced more miracles than all other people. Because people don't use truth to judge. People don't use truth as a standard. Truth is not the standard for judgment, again, for people. So instead of using truth as the standard to take decisions and to judge what is sane and what is insane, people are using miracles, spectacular things that are spectacular, manifestations as the basis for their judgment. So what happened to this man? There was a man there that is called something Dyer, Gilbert Dyer. The name of this man of God was Gilbert Dyer. So this Gilbert Dyer used to do many miracles like this. So, but it got to a point that other ministries also were doing miracles. But you have to be, since you are the most anointed, you have to strive to beat everybody else in your miracles. So the miracles he was doing by making people stand up from the wheelchair, but the Benny Hinn also has done that. So there's nothing special. But you have to be special, because for people to keep on coming to you, you have to do more miracles that other people have not done. So then the guy started doing other miracles, like opening the eyes of the dead, of the blind, and then the ears of the dead. So all those miracles became too small, because how can you be repeating the same thing every Sunday? It's no more interesting. Yeah. So the miracles of children giving birth, barrenness, giving people getting husband is becoming not. This guy is a very elaborate guy. He's a very what do you call him? It's a man with big taste and big big size and big taste. He's very extravagant and he's very lousy. So this man needed his own miracle to be growing by the bounds, bound by bond every time. So, yes. So this Bishop Dyer, he now came up with, and people were rushing to his church. He was having more followers than any other person. But if you listen to the man, if you are having common sense, and you listen to the man for 5 minutes, in his language and tongue alone, he should be able to communicate to you that the guy is a crook and is a fraud. But people will just use miracle and remove their head. I mean, professors were going there. I mean, educated people were going there. Graduates were going there. So, but then the guy is very smart. He noticed that for the African crowd that he was having, it is the miracle of children that is the biggest miracle. Yes, if you can make somebody that is barren and gone to any hospital to have children, you are the biggest anointed man of God in town. So you know what the guy did? He collided with his wife, and now they started making sure that any barren person gets a child. So, but after making sure that every barren person gets a child, which was good enough, but that was also being done in other ministries. It is not too supernatural enough. How could you? But he still want to do it so that it will be through the giving birth of the children. So now he came up with another. His own miracle was supposed to be the only one. Like even Jesus didn't do it. Because he has said, Jesus has said, greater work shall he do. So he came with greater work like that. And the greater work, this man came up. In fact, I need a woman here. You are so beautiful today. You come. You are the beautiful woman without a child. You don't have a child, eh? Yeah, we are going to do an experiment. We are going to do an experiment on you, yes. You fit. You are married? Yes? Yes, sir. You don't have children yet?
No.
So, you qualify for my experiment. You qualify for Gilbert Deya's miracle. You qualify, yes. So, what Deya will say, if I was there and you are the one that doesn't have children, is that this, normal woman, for her to give birth, you need how many months? You are a medical doctor.
9 months.
9 months, good. So, but in Deya's ministry, so that the miracle is spectacular. Yeah, and that will be unique. So what Deya will do is that it will tell you, when I pray for you, you will be pregnant 3 times within a year. Yes. And all the 3 children will be given birth. That will not be small. You have to, if you get pregnant just once in a year and give birth to just 1 child in 1 year, that one a small miracle. It's not my size of miracle anymore. Yeah, it's not Gilbert Deya size. So the kind of miracle that Gilbert Deya was showing, you will know that 1 child in a year is too. Because before he started by saying, every year you'll be giving birth. So she was giving birth every year before. No, not alone. No. People were coming, testifying that we are giving birth every year. And nobody was saying the stomach. But to say, but that's the miracle now. That's where the miracle is now. People are saying, laugh, don't kill me. Well, yeah. People are dying out of laughter there. Because even for you to be giving birth every year, that means you have to be giving birth, we have to be pregnant every 3 months.
Yes.
Yes?
4 months, yeah.
3-4 months interval. Is that not too much for you? So, but I myself saw the testimony of human beings. Women were coming forward to say that 5 years ago, I was already barren. But in 5 years, I have 5 children. And none of them was 2 times. So every year, I gave birth. But where it was now caught was that the one of giving birth every year also looks too ordinary also for his size of miracle. So it's now started the one that say, you alone, you will have 3 children or 3 pregnancies in 1 year. And women were coming out to testify. Women were coming out that I was pregnant in January, now I had it in March. And then in March, April, I got pregnant again. Now I had that one in July. Then in this July, I got pregnant again. Now I had that one in October. And January, I will have another one. Cecile says, me a day for floor here. Cecile is on the floor already. Say, knock out. This will not be story. In fact, if you go to the YouTube right now, you will find Gilbert Deya Miracle Children or something like that. And you see it? Is there? Yeah. So I'm not lying.
We know you're not lying.
So then, but even then, people were believing him that's miracle now. Is God? Is there anything God cannot do? So when you doubt it, they say, so you are saying there is something God cannot do. Who are you to say there is something? Who are you to say there is something God cannot do? So you just say, of course, God can do everything. So what's your problem? Only that he's the most anointed, that's all. So one day, the wife was caught bringing in 4 children with some fake passports and fake names. He was caught at the airport in Kenya. She was caught. Then they discovered that they had gone to build a house in the village where they pay women to get pregnant. All these little girls who get pregnant. And they harvest those children. And they harvest them and import them to UK. Because people who are desperate in UK, they just tell them that the most important thing is that you are pregnant. You are having children. And okay. So they collaborate with church members who are having miracles, who need miracles. The most important thing is you have a child. So he fought it that it would not be, because then the UK government got involved in it. And then they wanted to send him back to face justice. And he was fighting it in the law. So he ran away from England and went to Scotland. And now they just deported him back to Kenya at last. And he's still claiming that there is nothing God cannot do. That it is God's miracle that God is doing. And that, the judge cannot judge him because he's a man of God. Oh my God. Emenike said, I met him personally several times. But he said, I refuse to believe that baby machine. Wow. So some of you have followed some ridiculous human beings before. So if you want, we could introduce you.
Yeah, no.
You don't want that one?
No.
To have 3 immediately.
No.
In 1 year.
In 1 year. To become world champion.
No.
Oh, thank you. Evidence. So that kind of miracle that people believe in, and his church grew because of this miracle. People believed him and people were trooping into his church. And the only thing you needed was just to ask for evidence. Review the evidences. Review the proofs. But our people are not used to, telling men of God. Emenike is saying, I pity myself. That I used to go to such a place. I pitied myself, for following this kind of nonsense. Can you believe it? And in the next 10, 20 years, a lot of those things that are being called miracles in the churches, in those African churches, people will blame themselves. They will regret it that they ever follow those so-called men of God. Because when I see all those men of God that are being followed right now in Nigeria, it's just the same thing. Of course, some of them have senses. They are not so outrageous like that. Their claims are also outrageous. But some of them are the same thing. Review the evidence that beg at the beguna. Ask for the evidence, review it. If you cannot verify something by the doctors or in the hospital or in the laboratory, forget about it. Leave those churches where they are claiming those outrageous stuff. Even the biblical, word of God. When people could say some things, a lot of claims, fallacies being claimed, doctrines being claimed in our churches. Not just concerning miracles, even concerning money and concerning teaching and practices in churches. They are just a lot of rubbish that we could easily have reviewed just looking in the Bible. I mean, they caught somebody. Can you imagine? Do you know that in Nigeria, in my country, they say that you could do there are some witchcraft you could do to bring you money. So you could go and contact some powerful, in Ghana too, they have it. Yeah, you could go and find some powerful men of God. Either some herbalists or some men of God or some powerful prophets. And they will do sacrifice for you. So in my country, yesterday, I just read in the newspaper that one guy was caught. And the guy that was caught he said, I was tired of poverty. So because he was tired of poverty, his friends recommended for him to go find this powerful man of God. That is the one that is responsible for all the wealth that he has been making. So he went and saw the powerful man of God. And then the powerful man of God said, go and bring the head of a virgin.
He's a man of God.
Yes, he's a prophet. He is a prophet, man of God. Powerful. So this guy went and killed a 13-year-old. So when he was taking the head and the body to the, he called the head separate and put it in a separate bag and the body in a separate bag, and was taking it to go and make ritual. Because they said if they put that head, in fact, there are some people who, even when I heard this when I was growing up in Nigeria, some people say, you know, even some movies, the Nigerian movies propagate this kind of rubbish.
Yes.
So they say, if you put that head in the corner, in some corner in your place like this, that mouth, it will be pouring out money. Money will, your currency will be coming out. So the thing is that, so what currency is coming out? Is it naira or dollar or pound? Or, so who decides? Where is it printed? You just hang the head of that baby, of that virgin in that place. It will just, so because of this kind of, you know, myth that are being propagated by our film industry, they are supporting them. And because of these, you know, rumors and these, you know, just nonsense stories, people believe it. Ignorant people, illiterate people believe these things. And you know what they do? They go and be looking for virgins or heads that will be pouring out money like this every evening. You just come to that head like this. You just say some few words or incantation, and money will just be coming. It will be raining down money on you. So, and then all those spraying, the spray of money spraying, they say, he has some head raining down money for him. So everybody wants to get their own head. Just because we don't verify stuff. Then the police caught him, and they caught the prophet also. And the prophet, who is the powerful man of God, who just was under the police arrest in shame, couldn't, you know, just nothing. So now I told you people to come to me. I said I'm going to tell a lot of stories about evidence. What are the claims? What are some outrageous things going on in our churches? That simple evidence or simple, you know, review of evidence or review of those stories. Okay, for example, you were showing me, where is it, you know, but maybe you can show me again, that a certain minister who lives in England went to Ghana, and with another man of God in Ghana, they came together with a list of how much money you should pay for. Yeah, but we had it somewhere, we copied it somewhere, and there were photographs, and even Success had the photograph of that thing. But after we started talking about it, they went to quickly remove it from their website. You see? Because we are not going to keep quiet. Yeah. The plague of silence. After we started doing something, you know, they went and removed it. But we're going to show you still. And these are what we call reputable ministers. These are people that are respected. So this man is one of the leading men of God in Ghana. And this other one is one of the leading men of God from Africa in England. And they went and came up with this. I hope Success has been there. Or Success would have shown us the picture that he took.
He did a video, I guess.
Yes, but the video he did was somewhere. I saw it in your place. I even copied it on your timeline.
I'm going to check it now.
So, but some of you remember the claims.
Yes.
So, simple verification would have showed us that, you know, yes, this thing works or it doesn't work. Review the evidences. Can you bring it here, please? Come and show me. All those people who say your enemy will die or somebody will die. Show me the ones who have died.
This one?
Yeah, this one. Can it be shown?
Yeah, from this side.
From this side.
Okay.
Take care of that. Oh, no, it left. Okay. These are reputable men of God, who are claiming these outrageous claims. Can you read what is there?
Yes, so
You tell me. Number one is what?
number one is 24-hour miracle. This is
Have you ever heard of those things? 24 hours miracle. So what about if I give you the money? I can even try you. I give $10, and if 24 hours miracle, how much is 24 hours miracle?
$250.
$250. So they will not take my $10.
40, sorry. 200.
240. So my $40 will not suffice.
It's small.
It's too small. So for me to have 24 hours miracle, let's say you are barren. So if you are barren now, you must have the child in 24 hours or be pregnant in 24 hours. How can you have 24 hours miracle when your husband is living abroad and you are barren? So just use, logic. So after the 24 hours miracle, which one is the next one?
Millionaire status, and this costs $5,000.
So millionaire status. So if it's in 24 hours also, I will add millionaire status to 24 hours miracle. So will I become a millionaire in 24 hours? And these are supposed to be men of God. What are the names? Maybe we should name the name.
Yeah,
Yes,
Matthew
please.
Ashimolowo.
Who?
Yes, please. Matthew Ashimolowo.
Matthew Ashimolowo is the one who do this.
Yes.
And who is the one in Ghana?
Mensa Otabil.
Mensa Otabil. These are supposed to be real ministers. That's, huh?
I used to like them so much.
They are supposed to be real ministers. How can Otabil put this on his page? I mean, he looks like a sensible guy. How can he go and do this? And Ashimolowo too. So who is now real? These are all confirmation that none of these people must be followed anymore. Is that clearer? Okay, bring that one that is clearer and smaller. Okay, so which is the next one?
1,000 times more. This is
Seed of what? Completion. What is seed of completion?
seed of perfection.
Perfection,
And this is
completion,
seed
yeah.
of completion, yes.
Okay, seed of completion is what?
This is
How much do they want for that?
$520.
Ooh, it's almost the same thing as millionaire.
No, millionaire status.
5,000.
Millionaire is what?
5,000.
$5,000. And completion, what complete? What should I complete? If I want to complete my house, so if I want to complete my house now, I should go and give this money and the house will complete itself. No, the fact that people like Otabil will put this was on Otabil's website. And then Matthew is putting his name there. Matthew Ashimolowo's name is there. How could they do this? Then what is the other one? I can't see it.
The other one is
Millionaire status is
5,000.
5,000.
1,000 times more.
1,000 times more.
This is here.
And this, what is 100%
Improvement.
life improvement? What is that?
Double your life. If you're going to live 10 years.
100% life,
Improvement, $100.
$100. Okay, then what is the next one?
Seed of perfection.
1,000 times more. Wow! I thought we were just saying that. I didn't know there is a seed for that.
Yes, there is.
1,000 times more is $1,000. My God, these people are raking in money. Oh.
People we are rushing.
Then the seed of perfection is almost $70.
Only.
Wow.
And that is that one. Christ has done a lot for the perfection.
Wow.
It's everything just to assist.
Wow. I'm dying. 1,000 times more what? It didn't say more problems.
And this person is saying, Cecile says, RCCG2 had their list of seeds on the Facebook page and website.
Yes.
Print it for us now. We are going to help them to remove it too. We are going to help them to talk about it. And after we talk about all of them, they are running to remove very fast. If you, Cecile, if you find any other church that has any kind of thing like that put out on the website, I will go and help them talk about it. They will go and remove it very fast. All of them will be repenting and be becoming body again. And that's the advantage in mentioning names. When you mention them, they will wake up. But when you are not mentioning names and you are just saying, oh, somebody somewhere said this, then they will remain the same. Okay. Stitches is asking me, Stitches projection. But Pastor, please, what do you think caused all these errors in churches today. It's one thing now. The love of money. Love of money, mammon. It's, everybody is casting out demons in Nigeria and in African churches. But let me tell you, Stitches, is the biggest demon is sitting. The biggest demon that needs to be cast out is sitting in the churches and in the GOs and the bishops and the senior pastors. And that biggest demon is called love of money. That biggest demon is called mammon. Mammon is ruling churches today full-fledged. There is a guy they call Francis Akinola. That guy mentioned everybody by name and was talking the truth, and everybody was getting annoyed because I posted his article. In fact, go and find the article I posted from Akinola, not the one I reposted, and repost it again, so that people will see it. Because but sometimes when you talk about these things, they say you are against people, you are exposing people, but they expose themselves now. Are they not the one who went to put it out? We're just repeating what they have already put out in their own page. So nobody is exposing anybody. They expose themselves by doing it. Why do you go and do it? By doing it publicly, you have exposed yourself. So it means you are not hiding. It means you are sure of what you are doing. I'm only showing you what you put out by yourself. So that's all. So all kind of stories like this, and little verification would have done it. Just review the things. In fact, let me give you some scriptures. Galatians chapter 2, 1-2. I will not read them. I will just give you, or I should read them. No, by the time I read them, the time is no more there. Acts chapter 1, verse 1-3. John chapter 21, verses 24-25. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 6. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 7. And for yesterday's point that I gave, I also have scriptures for them. Yesterday's scripture is 1 John chapter 1, verse 1. Luke chapter 1, verse 1-4. Hebrews 11, verse 3. John 8, 44. So now I want to call upon all of you to come and tell me your own side of the story. What do you think? Do you think reviews and asking questions, questioning, and the demanding review of evidences, of facts that people are using could really help churches and Christians get free from the clutches of this non-truth? Do you have examples of things that people practice that just ordinary reviews and demanding reviews and proofs could actually help to manifest this thing? Please, Pastor Nkeo.
Definitely, that will help, because there's one story recently on YouTube. I think it happened in India. Crucifix or whatever it's called, statue of Jesus. Water was pouring from the feet, and people were going there. Oh, holy water is from heaven. And later it was found out that it was plumbing system. It was from the toilet.
Wow.
And they were fetching and drinking, saying it's a miracle and everything. It's on the internet. It happened in India. So if somebody has investigated at least to know the content of the water, to know what is, whether it has germs or whatever,
And it's from the toilet. It
from
will
the
kill
toilet,
them.
it was a pipe, that got broken in the line and was just flowing
Dripping
from the feet of the crucifix, and they said it's a miracle, and people were drinking,
Pastor Edwin said, prove all things, hold fast to which is true. And that's what the Bible says. But we today, we don't prove anything. We just want to go for the sensational. That's a beautiful, beautiful example you use. Because that water could have been taken to the laboratory, could have been reviewed, and we could have found out if it is true or not.
And
Yes.
And there's another one, I think it's somewhere in Anambra State. Some water broke out. Though I've not seen the end of it, but they take all kind of sick people to here. Very, very dirty water. Even they started forming some kind of business around this place, because multitude of people are trooping into this place. Those that don't work. But there's even no evidence that any of them is getting healed.
Even if they are getting healed, what are the proof of the water, the source of the water, and what is it contains?
Dirty, dirty, dirty water. And some make They start everything around that place now is declared holy.
It has become a shrine.
Yeah, every tree around the place is being cut to take home. Some are digging water, digging some hole close to the place and fetch water, holy water home. And all the Okada, all these people that ride bikes there, are just very happy. They say they've created
Business has come.
They say let the water never ever quench there. Do you know how much they make in a day? This is our business. It's on the internet. I'm like, oh my goodness. Nobody investigates. See people that are just running crazy. Very, very dirty water.
Yeah.
And that is because a miracle has been exalted above truth.
Yeah.
Truth is the only basis for judgment. Truth is the only basis for decision making. And these are the ways to detect non-truth. I mentioned the 7 ways that I gave yesterday. And now it's just a simple one. Verify. Review. Yes. Who is the next one?
Well, a pastor told us a story before that a mother and a young lady that is old enough to get married, they went to a pastor friend of his, that this happened for real. And the pastor friend of the lady was blind, the daughter was blind, and the mother takes the lady everywhere, to churches for revival and all different types. And the lady didn't see. So one day went to his pastor friend that they go to, this man of God that is going to come to preach with us. And what happened was the man of God asked them to go into the room and pray together and just pray back to sender of the daughter's blindness. And the daughter became healed and the mother became blind.
Back to sender.
Yes. And I was thinking, this put the fear, because we're
not me. I didn't tell you that.
No,
you said pastor told you. Sorry.
No, I said a pastor.
Ah, okay. Because not me. Me, I know the
It's
time
not
that
pastor.
kind of
It's not this pastor. And this is part of the part of systematically creating fear in you, and also making you to suspect your family, your mother, and things. Because we're talking about the one that they're asking for money, but this is another angle. When they create the fear in you, maybe you have a problem and you believe that it's your mother or it's your brother or it's your sister or a relative of yours. You keep coming back to them. You keep seeing them as the hero, as the person that is going to save you. So telling such story, I didn't really get where the story was going, but in my conscience, I was thinking, this doesn't make sense. I mean, the mother had given birth to this child, raised this child to the level of being an adult, and then all of a sudden caused the child to be blind, and also is the one that is taking the child from places to places.
Even that back to sender, what kind of practice is that?
Yeah.
How can you be saying back to sender when God said to bless the enemy?
Yeah.
Pray for the enemy. Do good to those people who even misuse you.
Yeah.
Do good to people.
Yes.
Bless them. Those people persecute you. And you are saying back to sender. That back to sender prayer, it is rubbish. It is witchcraft.
Yes.
Back to sender is a witchcraft prayer. It's not biblical. It's practicing witchcraft in the church. Yes, please.
So they continue. So that story for me is really a non-story. They shouldn't. I don't know why he was saying it, but I believe that it was just to make you feel that anybody could be behind the problem that you have.
To be suspicious and to be afraid, living in fear, and propagating fear.
Exactly, and it's even propagating fear to even people in the church themselves, because they're telling you not to even trust anybody in the church too. That it could be your mother, it could be your father, so it could be the person next to you in the church. So who are you ever going to trust? No one to trust, but you would always see those men of God.
And those stories have to be reviewed.
Yes.
Produce the mother now,
yes,
and his daughter. Come up with this. Let me see them. That's what I'm saying.
We never asked any question about we just automatically believe who the mother was, who the child was.
Who even told you that the thing happened?
Where's the man of God? Nothing. Nobody asked any question. They just said, pray,
That's
pray.
the problem of the churches.
Everybody could be your enemy. And then the other thing, this is another creating fear. I think I've told this one before, But this one is about creating fear and making you subjected to having to tell your pastor everything that you do. They told us that there's a young lady in church that, you know, the pastor was like the father, or not the father,
Spiritual father,
yes,
yeah.
spiritual father, respect the spiritual father. So she was going to a beach with a friend. They were traveling in a car, and she said, "Oh guys, I didn't tell my pastor. I need to call my pastor." And the rest of them said, "What do you mean? You know, you're a grown up. Why do you need to call your pastor? You don't need to call your pastor. Just let's go. We're just
No,
going
wait
to
a
the
minute.
beach."
Cecile is saying RCCG list of seats. Where is the list? She tried to post it here or what? You should send it to
I
your
think
email.
we've
She
got
knows
it
your
on
email.
movement as well.
No, where is it? Can you send it if you want? If there
So
is
you
somewhere
can send it to DSA50.
right now, so
Yes.
that you can get it now.
Yeah, DSA50@gmail.com.
50 as 50.
FIFTY. DSAFIFTY@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, so the lady said, "Oh, I need to call my pastor. I always tell my pastor everywhere I'm going. I don't go anywhere without telling my pastor." So the lady called the pastor, and then the pastor said, "Oh, sister, whatever, you know, the Holy Spirit told me, you know, just revealed to me. The Holy Spirit just revealed to me that you shouldn't go. Would you, you know, please don't go to the beach. Don't go." And she was like, "Oh, we're already going with my friends and everything." And I said, "Okay, sir, I won't go. All right, no problem, I won't go." And then she didn't go. My friend left there and they went. And then they had an accident and they all died. You know, all the friends died and it was only the lady that remained. So the 4 people that went died. I mean, where does that come from? How can that, we didn't question that, we don't know if that happened.
What was the family? What was the newspaper that reported it? Where is the television where it was shown?
We didn't say anything. We just left the ball. The moral of that story was that wherever you go, before you go anywhere, you must tell your pastor, ask for their permission, for their spiritual guidance.
So that they will
before
put you in
go.
bigger bondage,
Yes,
in
that
bigger
was-
prison. It means your cell is too generous. So we are
Yes.
going to bring more people to occupy,
Yes.
to bring more people into the cell.
So I remember those 2 stories, and my conscience, even when it was told that this doesn't seem right, but I never thought to ask questions. I just thought to myself, it doesn't seem right, but it still worked for me for a short period of time. That, you know, you tell the pastor, then after a while, I just say, you know what, I can't be bothered to be telling the pastor.
No, wait, you are from London, right?
Yes.
Somebody is saying, please, DSA, please also expose VPA Church in London. What is VPA Church? I never heard of them.
I think it's that green cap.
I don't know what is VPA Church.
That green cap.
What do they do there?
I don't know what they do.
Okay.
I don't know
What
what
happens
VPA
there?
church is as well. I don't know.
Okay,
So
go
those are my
ahead.
two stories that I can remember now.
It's
But
too
there are
loud.
many stories that the pastors always tell us to create fear.
Get ready, prepare.
To create fear, especially that one is very prominent, and also to just make you just believe whatever they said. But another thing that I want to point out is that we don't really know how to ask questions. We're not used to asking questions, especially as Africans, as believers. It's like asking question is, to them, what they taught us is that asking question is not believing. Asking question is not having faith. Asking question means that you don't trust your pastor, you don't trust what they're saying.
They want you
don't
to
trust-
put off your brain.
Yeah, your brain. And asking question means that you don't even trust God, because how dare you ask questions? How dare you ask God questions? So we also need to start practicing how we can be bold and to ask question. And also, you know, asking question is actually
Evidence,
Yes.
review the facts.
Yes, it's revealing the facts, and for the
Reviewing the facts.
reviewing the facts, and also showing that you're a creation of God as well. And you know, God is giving you sound mind. You need to ask this question, and usually when you ask people that are telling lies question, they get upset. So that would be
Yes,
your cue.
yes.
You know, if you ask the question and they're getting upset or saying that you shouldn't ask the
It
question,
means it's
or
a lie or the
or
wow.
some of them could be calm, but they will tell you that you're a baby Christian, you don't have enough belief. You know, once you grow, you would understand. Those kind of manipulation that once you grow, once you develop, then you would understand. It's not true. If they cannot give you a straight answer to a question, then it's not true. And it will really help, you know, raising children now as well, parents especially. Allow your children to ask questions, because if you don't allow them to ask questions at home, when other people, forget church, even outside, tells them something like, you know, let's go and smoke something. Why would I want to smoke this? What's this going to do for me? You know, they won't just follow to do whatever. Ask them to review something. Even challenge your children to review. Because if you don't teach them at home, other people are just going to direct them to do things that they shouldn't do. And, you know, follow peer pressure. They should ask questions, because once they ask questions, they will reason themselves. You wouldn't have to be there to answer things for them or to tell them what to do. So that's my little part.
Somebody is saying VPA is Victorious Pentecostal Assembly. That doesn't tell me anything. Somebody tell me they are the place with the green carpet. But I heard if it is the green carpet place, I heard that the guy divorced and married a white Eastern European girl, maybe a few months later. But still, that's his own personal life. We don't discuss people's personal life. But if it is a doctrinal issue, yeah, we'll be able to talk about that. Yeah. If you have some doctrines that they do wrong, let us know. You must have evidence. You must have proof of what you are saying.
Okay, so there's this renowned man of God who lives in America, and he comes on telly to talk about the $58 miracle. I don't know
why should it be 58?
Well, he said God gave him a revelation, and out of that revelation, he's been able to prosper. He's got this big house. He's got everything, and then he comes and he tells us also, his viewers, his followers, to come and sow this $58 miracle, and then we too, we're going to be prosperous, and we're going to have everything. And honestly, he is well, in terms of what he called it, he's well respected. Well, and I'm not going to mention his name. And I almost fell for it, but I thought, you know, why 58? Why should God say 58? Why not 24? Why not £1? Why not 50p? But why 58? So I mean, that's the thing for you. And he comes all the time to talk about this $58 miracle. Yeah.
So you know, that is very easy to verify. So why? What is that? What does it promise?
He promises that you too, you're going to break out of your poverty, and you're going to get a house. You're going to get this car.
I think it's based on Isaiah 58, if I'm not mistaken.
So then, what we have to do is to go and put together $58 and say when should I expect the report? And then once the time has come, and it is $58. I mean, the $58 has been paid. A year later, no money came. Just write an application to the police. Record his promises, and go and report him to the police. He must be in jail. He's a fraudster. That kind of person must go to jail. He's a fraudster.
And you know, you just believe this because all your life, I mean, at least from where I'm coming from, you're not even. I mean, like Queen Maya was saying, who gives you the audacity to even to question what the man of God has said? Because it's coming from the throne room, like they said. They've gone to see God. God has spoken to them, and they're coming to give you a word from heaven. So who are you to come and question and counter what they're saying? You wouldn't even come to your
mind.
To do
but
that.
we have to teach people to think and to query everything and to question everything.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so what I thought about was that I recently heard a testimony of a woman in church, and she was talking about the fact that she got a job.
A dog?
A job. A job.
A job?
Yes, a job. She was looking for a job, and, the pastor prayed for her and everything. And this job had actually required someone who spoke English. And she doesn't speak English. So...
And she'll be saying it's a miracle instead of saying it's fraud.
She actually got the job. The first, I don't remember all the details, but I remember that she said that, she doesn't speak so good English, and she had that interview, and she wasn't taken, but, after she put this in prayer and everything, all of a sudden the interviewer called her again, and they offered her the job, and she got the job even though she couldn't speak the language. So
how will she work?
I was just wondering,
Holy Ghost,
thinking,
okay.
How are you going to... I don't know. For me, this was just very dubious. And I also want to say that, because this was in Germany, right? So I have I grew up in Germany, and I know that they have high standards. That if you don't speak a language, this is like one of the most basic things
requirements.
one of the basic requirements that you have to have in order to be taken. And there are many other things. Like the expectations are very high. So for me, this was very questionable. And I asked myself, okay, what kind of employer is this? And is he even known? Is he registered? What is this not? All these questions I had in my mind, but nobody was asking. Everyone was just like, wow, amazing. And this is breeding laziness, because if you hear things like that and you think, oh, if I just go and pray, it doesn't
the
matter.
man of God goes to lay hands on me. My
of
qualification doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't have to qualify. I don't have to go and educate myself because God will do the work because I'm faithful or I'm sowing seed or the man of God has prayed for me. So I was wondering about the questioning aspect, because what I think is missing is that we don't know how to question, because most of the time when we question, it's why. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why did, God allow this or whatever? So whenever it comes to questioning, people don't know how to question in a way that they spark a conversation.
But the good thing is that after what Cecile says, this is exactly what she did. After she started listening to all these things, she went and challenged her pastor. She went back to her church, which is a Nigerian church in her country, and took it to the Cato police, and got the police to go to the church to demand for a tithe back. All the money that she used to give to the church. And then the pastor got afraid and gave all the money back. Now she went and used the money to begin to invest it, as she has read in my book, Money Won't Make You Rich. Yeah. Because the reason why it's not because you are demanding your tithe back, but because you feel that you have been manipulated to do it. It is not something you have done out of your free will or what you want, but you are manipulated to do it. And when you feel that you are manipulated to do it, you have the right to demand for it back, or let the pastor go to prison.
Yeah, and that's we are so afraid of all these consequences if we ask, but that's why I'm so grateful for yesterday's teaching, because he gave us this manual, the how-to steps on how to actually question and not just go there emotionally and say, why did you do this? This didn't work out, and I want this, I want that. But we need to have this, the steps. We need to understand how to go about the issue, how to find out the truth. Because especially as Africans, we are oftentimes very temperamental, and our emotions get in the way of us having a logical conversation together, and so things get just swept under the rug, or things escalate, situations escalate because we don't have the steps of how to start and finish these types of investigations. And I think that's the reason why most of us don't ask questions. Apart from the fact that we grew up with parents most of the times who tell us, don't ask questions, this is impolite, or don't ask questions, you don't do that. I know that from myself, so I know where it can come from. If it's from your childhood, even if it's from church, it is a sign of distrust. So we've not been taught how to do it the right way. We just know how to do it the wrong way and then being punished for it. So.
Well, Davina Olushoga is saying here, I have a video. Like she said, she has a video. She has that video of Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo asking people to give. The reason I'm reading this is because it's not just because she has the video. She claims to have the video, but I've seen the video myself. Asking people to give according to their age. If you are 20 years old, you give 20,000. I don't know if it's 20,000 naira or $20,000. Yeah, or euro. I could not believe it, because Pastor Matthew, was a respected pastor. So who is going to be the next in this money craze gospel? Yeah.
All right. So, hello everyone. So this is going to be
an expose.
Yeah, an expose. Well, just to summarize it, this was a man of God in Nigeria who pronounced a woman to be blind for the next 10 minutes.
He said the woman should be blind for the next 10 minutes?
Yeah, that if he is a man of God, the woman will be blind.
Okay.
Because she denied, or she said he was lying. His prophecy was not
True.
It was not true.
Okay.
So I think I will just play the video because the video is here.
Okay, where is it? What's the name? The man doesn't have a name.
He's Prophet Chris Okafor or something like that.
Okafor? How does it look like?
We'll see his face now in the video.
Okay, where is it?
Yes, sir.
So the woman became blind.
Yeah, based on the...
They should take him to prison now. The woman should sue the man and take him to prison. What about the children of the woman?
Hold on. I
can't
led
see
him to
anything.
pray, and God said, take your hands off. What I heard was scary. He said, the mother right there is responsible.
Responsible for what?
There is a court. There's a court. There's a court. You want her to enter, but she did not enter. You are the cause. And you say you are not the one. Prophetic fear. You say you are not the one. Wait. You say you are not the one.
Who is shouting prophetic fear?
Okay, I'm lying, right? I'm lying. No problem.
But the woman is just acting out now. You can see that the woman is just behaving.
Wait. Hold on. I'm angry. Hold on. Wait. You say you are not the one. 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 So I'm lying. I'm not hearing well.
He's putting words in her mouth. You are not the one. You are not the one. He was silent.
You say you are not the one.
I'm angry.
If it is God that spoke to me, and you are the one, and if I be a man of God, you will be blind for 10 minutes. From this moment, you will be blind for 10 minutes. If I be a man of God.
And she will close her eyes also. Actors in the church. Huh? Ridiculous. She had closed her eyes though. Actor. Too childish. And people are responding. A community of ignorant people. A world of foolishness. Ignorant fools. If this one can be acted by Nollywood, though, even Nollywood will do it a better performance than this one. Nollywood will do a better job. Foolishness. He is praying now. Is acting. They are saying power. Ignorant. They brought actors to the stage. Where is this man? Where is this guy based in? So this one will be going on for 10 minutes now. When will it finish? That's all. So as the woman become, did they return the face, I mean the eye of the man, of the woman?
I think so. Let me confirm this. Okay.
Criminals in the pulpit. The people who need deliverance themselves is the man of. Okay, Davina is saying this pastor, there is a certain pastor that was in Cole, Germany, She said, I met him, Pastor Nasho. Pastor Nasho. Okay, I think maybe that's not the name of the pastor, I guess. I can't see the name of the pastor here. He made almost 60,000 euros in 3 days. Wow. Collect offering. He collected 50 euro from each person, promising to give material. What is material? He never gave them, and they did not refund the money. I don't quite get that. Okay, so this guy is based in Lagos. Wow. And some people will be celebrating him. They said he's in Lagos. Edwin says he's in Lagos. Okafo, I never heard of that guy.
I've been seeing his face. He's been doing a kind of weird things. Is he not the one that's married people?
He said, Ufoma is saying, this is what we celebrate in our African churches: power, miracles, money. Those three things are the very wrong ways to use to judge. You know, we should not pass judgment or make any decision on the basis of those three things. It should only be on the basis of truth. Truth is the only leveler. Edwin said the end of their empire has come because we are not going to stop. The plague of silence. So what will you say about it? Because you are the one who showed us this. So what are you trying to tell people? Come and enlighten people. What's your...
You finally opened the eyes, I guess.
Yeah, but what's your conclusions? What are your reasons?
Well, let's talk about the known truths in this.
Yes.
Because that's what we're talking about. Where's the source of where does it come from? Where is the audacity or the authority to declare a person to be blind? Where is it from? Where did it come from? Well, he might have brought it from the Old Testament. Maybe not. Maybe I think there was this.
There was another story in Acts of the Apostle, Simon, the one that wanted to buy the power of God through witchcraft.
Yeah, and then they said, I think he said, to hell with you and your money.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
but I don't know if he ended up being blind. But I remember the story of Jesus when his disciples, they were to gain access to preach in a certain city.
They said louder. They're asking you to speak louder.
All right. So I remember the story of Jesus when he and his disciples were to go into a city to teach and to minister, and those people did not give them access. And then the disciples actually told Jesus that, okay, since Elijah, I think it was Elijah that called down fire, so let them also call down fire on these people that actually denied.
Oh, sorry. Access. The person that they said came to Germany to collect 50 euro each, and was going to give them some whatever material. I don't know what they mean by material. That's the same guy, Chris Okafo, the same guy who made people blind.
Okay. So Jesus Christ actually rebuked the disciples when they did that. And what he told him, that you don't know of what spirit you are. So if it happened in the Old Testament that some small boys were abusing Elijah or Elisha, that he was bowed, and then he called out bears to devour the children, and it happened before that time. Or Elijah that called on fire to devour some people, that was before the cross. That was before Jesus Christ came. But now Jesus Christ rebuked his disciples and said, no, you don't do evil to people. You don't pray that kind of prayers. You don't make that kind of request from God. And he rebuked them. So now where is that coming from? Why would a man of God declare someone to be blind?
To show his ego.
To show that he's anointed. Where there are other ways you can show that you are anointed than just declaring a person to be blind.
No, you don't need to show that you are anointed in the first place. You don't need to begin to
brag about
Jesus also was asked to show that he's anointed to do miracles.
Yes.
And he refused. Anytime you are being pressured to perform, that is exactly why you shouldn't prove yourself. You shouldn't speak for yourself. It said the master, the God that sent you, he asked somebody that is with you that will prove for you. He will speak for you. And Jesus also was being pressured to prove himself. He was always denying it. Which is a reason why anybody that is trying to prove himself that is anointed is a false prophet. Because he's giving a testimony of himself.
Exactly. And then based on today's topic about the review, well, this woman that claimed to be blind in this video, who is she? What's her name? Was there an interview that was done with her and that verified the fact that she actually went blind? You understand? Or is this staged? Is this a staged miracle? So what's the review? Let's review it, so that, because most of them we saw how they were rejoicing and they were outside. It was not as though they actually came to meet the woman and then they confirmed that she was actually blind or not. But they were just jumping without actually reviewing it. That okay.
Even in the Old New Testament, when Paul said that sorcerer, the witch, the wizard should be blind with his money for a season, and he was blind for a season. But people were not rejoicing about that. It's not to prove his power.
No.
It's to rather say you cannot buy the power of God through corruption. You cannot buy the power of God through money. So he said, perish with your money. Your money perish with you. Mm-hmm. So he became blind for a moment. But the reason why that one was done is just because he was trying to show, to demonstrate the power of God cannot be bought, cannot be compromised. But here, this is exactly what they are doing. They are using the power of God to buy people's faith. Mm-hmm. They are using the power. He is the one that is doing the work of that same work that Simon, that was blind in the the New Testament, was, I think it's Acts 13 or something. Mm-hmm. What he was doing and what the sin he committed was trying to, use the power of God to affirm himself, to buy the power of God so that he will affirm himself. But this is exactly what these people are doing. So they are using the power of God now to buy themselves, to affirm themselves, to buy themselves authority, to buy themselves. So they are the ones who are doing what Simon by Jesus was doing.
Yeah.
So they are buying the power of God. They are buying the reputation of God through miracles, so they are manipulating people. So they are the ones who are going to face God's wrath. Yeah, thank you. Because it's not just what you do, but the motive behind you doing it. Jesus also could have done miracles, and he was also doing miracle many times before. But he was not doing miracle because when they demand him, or he said, I'm angry. So he just wants to demonstrate that he's somebody, God's man of God. So that is manipulation of people. Each time they try to make Jesus to do that, it will always, Okay, somebody is writing, it is in Acts 13:11. It is not. It is Elymas, okay? Is it Elymas, not Simon? Oh, all right. I thought it was Simon. Is it not the same person? Okay, maybe it's not the same person. I can't remember, but I know that, yeah, there was a situation like that, but there was a, Simon.
Simon, he was in Samaria with Philip and John.
Is it not Acts 13:11? I think it was the same one by Jesus, so I think it should be the same. Maybe he said it's Elymas. Maybe it's also called Elymas, but yeah. So anyway, but we shouldn't be using, Jesus would not use, even in that situation, Paul was not trying to, affirm his power and to say, oh, I'm the one. In fact, they actually tried to make them kings and gods even. And he refused, So Paul was not using the same intention as our ministers of today. So, what was that?
Case where a pastor made a person call a phone.
Ah. Oh, wow. Horrible thing. Someone is writing here, David. Osa Romain David says, the mindset of the Nigerian Christian is imminent in all facets of life. Social, political, economic, etc. If their spiritual reasoning is tainted with such deceptions, how can they make the right choice of a president? Most of them chanted against a President Buhari because is a Muslim. Tony Ukwum said the motive is wrong, getting attention to be worshipped by the congregation, therefore taking God's glory. Yes, you got what I'm saying. Tony got exactly what I'm saying. But that's exactly what Jesus was always avoiding. But a lot of ministers in Nigeria, that's exactly what they want to do. So they are using their power and their miracles to get attention of people to worship them, thereby taking away God's glory. But Jesus was so humble, he was always refusing to do that. The disciples also, in fact, they even came to, is it Paul and Silas? They came to them and said, you are God. They named one name and they gave another name. I think it was Acts 14 or something. They wanted to name them, Apollos and something. So they wanted to give them name as God and worship them. And they rejected it. But in Nigeria now, they are worshiping them left, right, and center, and they are enjoying it. They are enjoying it and celebrating it even every Sunday. So, and that's what is wrong with those kind of ministry, those kind of ministry where they worship the senior pastor and everything like that. So they are using the power of God to buy themselves worship. They use the power of God to make people worship them. They use the power of God to do exactly what God said you shouldn't do, for what the people were condemning Acts the Apostle. Well, but even those miracles that they are performing, the message of today is let's verify, let's review. Let's review the evidences. Let's review the proofs. Let's review even the claims. All the claims have to be reviewed. Don't just be gullible and believe any man of God because he's a man of God. So what is the proof that he is a man of God? Let's review all the things he's saying. Well, I think we have enough of this thing today. Tomorrow I'll be back to give you and to continue this message. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a wonderful evening. Blessings.